For me, working out is my daily therapy session. Lifting weights makes me feel empowered and strong. I started weightlifting 6 years ago and never looked back. The gym has allowed me to see how strong I am, not just physically, but more important, mentally. It has allowed me to finally believe in myself and have confidence. I started Z-Body Fitness because I wanted to help every person feel that way. Everyone deserves to feel self-confident and love themselves. I hope that through sharing my journey, it can help inspire others to do the same. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe Rodriguez and I'm the founder at Z-Body Fitness Inc. And today we have a very exciting video because we are going over my entire transformation history, all the way from back to when I was a long distance runner, all the way up until now, 2019. Backstory on me, I've never really made a video like this, and I just think it'd be really helpful for you guys to see my entire transformation history and like what I've been through and different things that I've tried. And I just wanted to go in detail about it because I think it could help a lot of you guys out there. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would super appreciate it. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, I would super appreciate it. I hope you guys like this video. I also post a ton of food and workout videos on my channel as well, so please check those out after. And we are going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off now. I'm going to be on the side over here. I'm going to be putting different pictures and stuff that will relate to the different times I'm talking about, just so you guys can get an idea of like where I was at and like what my body looked like and just, you know, how I was feeling. If you are a long-term follower, or if you had been following my Instagram from way back when, you might recognize some of these pictures. I am going to be pulling them from my Instagram just because I feel like that's where the most database of stuff is on there. You can go all the way back to like 2013, 2012. See really old pictures for me, and I don't look anything like I do now. My face looks pretty the same, but my body has completely changed. I grew booty. Obviously, I have a breast implant, but we'll go over all that in the details. So I first want to start off with my childhood. So when I was young, I used to do karate and ballet growing up. Ballet was like my first thing that I started doing. And then I started doing karate, I think in like 7th or 8th grade, I want to say, for a few years. And then in high school is when I started running. So this is, I guess, like the start of my fitness journey, I guess, would be high school. That's when I actually started running. Now, I just want to put it out there, I was not the best runner to start off with. I did eventually get better. I ended up being the captain of my cross country team, and I ran track as well. I was not really a track person, but my coach made me do it for cross country. So I did cross country and track in high school, and then going to college, I was still running. Up until about my junior year, I was running competitively, like local 5K races. Just to give you an idea of my times, it was somewhere around between like 20 minutes to 21, somewhere in that range. You know, I wasn't like an outstanding runner. I wasn't like average. I'd say I was decent. You know, I got first place all the time. I have like a whole box full of medals and all that stuff. So that was like my first fitness love, I would say. I loved running. I thought that I would do it forever. And so here comes junior year of college. Oh, you know what? One other thing I did forget to mention. In high school, I did start becoming a vegan. So at this time, I'm still vegan. I started eating meat again about, I want to say, my junior year of college. It's kind of like a little mixed up in there. I don't really know all the years, but I want to say at some point before I graduated college, I did start eating meat again. So in college is when I really discovered weightlifting. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in exercise science, and obviously, you know, we have to learn about weightlifting. Part of my actual major was a weightlifting class, and you know, we have to learn about all these different exercises, and that's when I started lifting weights. So this is my junior year of college, and at this time I was still running pretty competitively, and I had a coach at the time and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I was pretty, you know, I was trying to improve my running game at the time. I think it was the beginning of 2013 is when I really started actually like weightlifting. Originally, I started weightlifting because I wanted it to benefit my running. So it wasn't like to try to gain a booty or anything like that, or get shoulders or biceps or whatever. Along this time, obviously I'm still learning new exercise at this point. I'm really not familiar with the weight room, but you know, I'm liking how it feels. You know, I feel like the weights are making me stronger. I feel like I like how it makes me feel when I look in the mirror and I'm lifting these weights. I don't know, it's just very empowering. So I fell in love with that aspect. So I started lifting weights more, and I'm like, yeah, I really like this feeling. Like, I'm gonna go to the gym twice a week instead of just once a week and all this stuff. So at this time I started to, you know, put on a little bit of some muscle, some weight. So nothing crazy, like it's very, very minimal. But my coach at the time was like, hey, like, I think you're lifting weights too much. Like, you need to like cut it back a little bit. And I was like, you know what? This was like a very pivotal part in my fitness journey. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna quit running and I'm just gonna lift weights. And that was what I did. So as scary as it was, you know, running was my entire life. It was kind of like the only thing that I really felt confident with. And so going into the weight room from that point on is when I basically started like my weightlifting, I would say my transformation process. This is 2013, this is the summer of 2013. I start to lift weights and I start to gain some muscle. So I will insert obviously pictures here. I start to notice, you know, I'm gaining a little bit of a booty, which really was not my intent. If I have to be honest, when I first started getting into the gym, I was just like, I want abs, like that's all I want. And you know, listen, it doesn't happen that easily. Like, it's not a thing that you can't just go in the gym and just get abs. But I didn't know back then because I was not, you know, graduated with all this years of experience under my belt. So I'm just a newbie and I think, okay, I just want abs, whatever. That doesn't work out. So I start gaining a booty, which is pretty cool. Moving into 2014, we're gonna go over. So when I first got into fitness and weightlifting, you know, back then there was not a bunch of information out on macros, all that kind of stuff. So I was that clean eater. I ate everything that was quote unquote clean. Like, I'll try and find some meals that I used to make, but it was just awful. Like, I would eat plain oats, plain everything, no seasoning, just chicken. Disgusting. I used to eat like just eggs all the time. It was really horrible. And I don't want to ever go back to that point. I don't want anyone else to ever feel like you just need to eat clean. It's definitely not what you need to do. But anyways, I was in that rut for quite some time. So mostly I would say 2013/2014 is when I was trying to eat clean all the time. So we're definitely restricting way too much. And so with all this clean eating, you know, I started to develop not the best relationship with food. And that was kind of when I wanted things to change. So that's when I actually started counting macros, was at the end of 2014. So I was like a clean eater for probably about a year and a half. You know, I wasn't super strict. It did lead to a lot of binging sometimes because, you know, you restrict yourself so much. Obviously you're craving all these sweets and all these things, and that you can't have them. And then when you finally allow yourself, you just want all of them. So it was just nothing conducive to, you know, gaining muscle or anything like that. So at that point, I don't really think my body changed that much. Yes, I was growing a little bit of a booty and some arm muscle and stuff like that, but overall, I definitely was not my healthiest. So here comes 2015. So during 2015, this was quite a year. So at the beginning of 2015 is when I started counting macros / the end of 2014. I started discovering flexible dieting, and that really helped me so much because I realized I don't have to eat clean all the time. I can still have the things that I want to have sometimes, but obviously I can still see results with still having those few things that I like. So that was really huge for me, and that really changed my relationship with food. It helped me, you know, teach more about it to my clients, and that has really been beneficial just for everyone all around, because who doesn't love a flexible diet? It really, I feel like, has changed my life, and I still do flexible dieting to this day. I will be recording a full day of eating for you guys. And then during this time, I became more focused on actually training very specifically for specific body parts. You know, a lot of just leg days and just back and bicep days, and this is where I feel like I put a lot of my foundation in with lifting. You know, I was very, very dedicated during this time. Not as dedicated as I am now, but I know I would go to the gym 5-6 days a week. And this was also at the end of college. So 2015, I graduated. Like I said, I was very dedicated, almost to the point where I was like too dedicated. I look back on it now and I do think that I was way too strict. You know, if I missed a day of the gym, I was like, I gotta make it up tomorrow. Or, you know, if I missed a meal or it was just too strict. So that was 2015. So the end of 2015 was my first powerlifting competition. I'll put some pictures here, not so pretty. But yeah, that was my first powerlifting competition. I don't remember my numbers or anything, guys. I'm so sorry. I will put some clips in here too of powerlifting meets. I think I vlogged at some point. I know I vlogged one of them at some point.
Let's go, Zoe. Come on, lightweight, let's go. Come on, Zoe, let's go. Let's go, Zoe, up, come on!
Yeah! 52 pounds, bring your own state record.
Let's go, Zoe. Let's go, 9 for 9. Let's go, Zoe, pull!
So 2016, we're at 2016 now. So 3 years ago, when I started doing more powerlifting competitions. So I actually didn't end up powerlifting for that long. It was only from, I guess, if my meet was in December, I started prepping that September or October. And then I had another powerlifting meet in February. During this time, I was eating a lot of food. So I had a lot more muscle mass than I do right now. I was pretty much, I think I was about 142 to 145 pounds. Like during my training, and then I would like cut down to my weight class, which is 132. So my body just felt so tired all the time. Like with powerlifting, it's very intense. And you know, I wasn't a fan of it. Like, yeah, it was good for like a while and I really liked it for a while. I really liked the competitiveness of it. I was looking, you know, I'm a competitor. I feel like I have a competitive nature. So after weightlifting, I did want something to just kind of compete in for a little bit. And so I had that meet in February, and then I ended up going to nationals in July. I had nationals, and then I realized, you know, like, do I really like powerlifting that much? I decided to actually quit powerlifting. It was a few months after, I think it was like 2 or 3 months after that competition. My body was just wrecked all the time. And I'm not saying that like all powerlifters feel that way, but for me and my body, it just was not conducive to feeling great. So that's just what I decided to do. After I quit powerlifting and into 2017, during this period, I felt very lost. So, you know, obviously after quitting powerlifting, my body had changed a lot. I had a lot more muscle mass on my body that I wasn't used to. Clothes were not fitting how they used to fit. Like my lats were huge, like they were ginormous. I could not even wear the bras that I used to wear anymore. It was just a hot mess and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel confident. I hated my body at the time. It was just all around just a horrible mess. So 2016 and 2017, at the time also, I was in a really bad relationship and it was just a really rough time that I'm thankful that I'm no longer in. 2016, the end, I was just a hot mess. I don't even know what I was working out. I was probably BSing my workouts most of the time. Obviously, I'll put some pictures in here of like what I looked like, but I was definitely gaining weight all the wrong places. My body just felt, you know, just horrible all the time. So 2017, I had my boobies done, my little boobies. And so 2017, it was, I think it was April or May. I do have a bunch of videos in here also about I have surgery day in here. I have the first week and then the first few days after my breast augmentation. So if you want to see that, I will link them up here, wherever it is. Don't remember which side. Yeah, so if you want to check that out. So that's when I had my boobies done. You know, it was just something that I had wanted to do for a long time, but I let the judgments of other people kind of affect that decision and hold back my decision, which, by the way, I'm still 100% happy with my boobies. So that was, you know, kind of like where I started to turn and get into and start to feel more confident again. I did lose my confidence a lot after quitting powerlifting and just feeling just so lost. And then I had broken up with my boyfriend like a few months after I got my boobs done. So it was just a mess. That mostly 2017 was a hot mess. You know, I would say 2017 was like my transformation year, my growth year. It was a very rough year, like I'm not gonna lie. You know, it was all about finding self-love again. I was learning to fall in love with myself again because after a really bad relationship and just like feeling like really discouraged with myself because like I'd quit powerlifting, I just felt like lost. I just felt lost. I don't really know what else to say. So after that, you know, at the end of 2017, I started to feel good again. Now 2018, I have to say, it was probably my most balanced year, and I put this on my little note sheet to just make note of that. In 2018, I definitely felt the most balanced in terms of workouts and nutrition. It wasn't something that was constantly on my mind like the previous years where I was like, if I miss this workout, like I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow or whatever. 2018 was definitely my most balanced year. I never felt like super stressed out over eating or my macros or any of that stuff or working out. I just kind of did what felt best for me. And I think that's such great advice because a lot of time I felt like I was just trying to do what everyone else was doing, have a certain workout schedule, but lately and starting in 2018 is when I really started to just listen to myself and what my body needs and what my body wants. So also in 2018, I also changed my diet a little bit. So as you guys had heard in the first part, I was vegan from ages 18 till about 21 or 22. And then I started eating meat again. And then just last year is when I eliminated dairy. So dairy was the biggest thing for me to eliminate. It was kind of the hardest because I love dairy and I'm from Ohio. So we used to drink milk growing up all the time. It's just like a big thing up there. And so I did cut out dairy. Milk wasn't really my biggest thing. It was like ice cream and Greek yogurt. But I have found all dairy-free alternatives now. So if you guys want maybe like a video on just dairy-free alternatives, let me know. And then in terms of meat, I'm only eating seafood now. So I do live close to the ocean now in Jupiter, Florida, and we get lots of fresh seafood here. So I do recommend, if you do live in a area that has fresh seafood, to take advantage of that. Fish has so many healthy fats and omega, so I really, really recommend that. And in terms of other meats, I don't eat other meats just because personally it's a personal choice. I just don't want to anymore. And so that's kind of what my diet is right now. So I just call myself a dairy-free pescatarian. I know it's kind of complicated, but that's just what works best for me. I always encourage you guys to find out what works best for you. And like I said, 2018 is just my most balanced year. And that brings us to 2019. So I know obviously I've been showing you guys these pictures over here and just kind of going over my transformation stuff, but I do want to talk about it is a lot more than just a physical transformation. Obviously my body has changed, but mentally I'm so much of a better person than I was years ago because weightlifting for me has just taught so much self-discipline. So for me, it's much more about the mental changes than the physical changes. Obviously, you guys can see my transformation physically, but mentally, I just feel like such a stronger person. You know, when I graduated with my degree in exercise science, it just gave me a lot more confidence to kind of go after my dreams because when I start to see progress in the gym, it just motivates me and it makes me realize that I can really do anything that I set my mind to, and you guys can as well. And I hope you found this transformation video somewhat inspiring, and I tried to not make it like all the other transformation videos. I tried to give you a real honest look about my transformation and my story, and I hope that it can resonate with some of you guys. So just a few common questions I might get asked is, number one, do I still run? No, I don't still run. I just don't enjoy it anymore. If I were to run, it would probably be some sprints or something, but in terms of long distance, you know, it's kind of something that you have to keep doing so that you don't die when you run, and I have not gone on a long run in about 4 to 5 years. So that's not happening anytime soon. I regret quitting powerlifting? Absolutely not. I did not feel good, you know, the after effects of it. Like I just didn't feel good doing it. So I try to listen to my body as much as I can and do what feels best for me. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And please come check me out on Instagram. I post tons of workout videos and all kinds of fun stuff. And I hope you guys liked this video and it wasn't too boring and it was kind of exciting. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and of course subscribe to my channel. I would super appreciate it. Also, if you are interested in trying out any of my fitness programs, you can just download the Z-Body Fitness app. I will put all the information below. All you have to do is search Z-Body Fitness in the App Store or Google Play Store and I will pop up. And I have tons of programs for home, gym. We have challenges 4 times a year. All kinds of fun stuff. I have a full macro calculator on there if you're interested in calculating your macros and becoming a flexible dieter like myself. Please feel free to check that out. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.